here. Thank you so much for joining me for this full-length Pilates Reformer class. Today is recovery day. It's still going to be a challenging workout, but we will have a lot of fun and hopefully feel nice and stretched out by the end of it. I am beginning class with my foot straps on. I have my headrest up, and I have one heavy and one medium spring on my machine. On my machine, that's one green and one red spring. I do not work in half springs for the buttons. So let's go ahead. We're going to start lying down on our backs. We're going to be doing footwork and other exercises with our feet and straps. So our main focus is on maintaining a neutral spine, and let's work on squeezing the glutes and engaging the inner thighs today. So I have my foot straps. I'm going to press out my right foot, bend my left knee in, place the strap on my left foot, extend my left leg, bend my right knee, place the strap on my right foot, and I'm going to come into a frog. I'm going to find a nice neutral spine. If you cannot come to here without tucking your tail, find a place where you can hold the position, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your inner thighs, draw your ribs together, nice wide shoulders. If you can come to here, make sure you can still squeeze your glutes and engage here. Now make sure you're not flaring your ribs, but also draw them together. Now press out to a full extension, bend in halfway. You should feel a real engagement with your glutes there, your hamstrings, your inner thigh. We're in a diamond position, so not fully extended, not fully in tabletop. From there, we're going to rotate the femur in the hip socket and bring our legs to parallel in the hook position. So halfway out in turnout is a diamond, halfway out in parallel is the hook. Then we're going to rotate the femur in the hip socket again, squeezing our heels together the whole time, and come to the diamond position. Our knees are tracking over our big toe the whole time. Rotate to parallel, rotate to turn it out. You're going to keep going. You're going to know if you're not doing the exercise properly because your toes or knees will rotate before your hips do. But you're going to know that you're doing it properly because you're going to feel the squeeze in your hips. You're going to be maintaining a neutral spine, so you're going to really feel it in your lower abs, so your belly button dropping towards your spine. You're drawing your ribs together, nice wide shoulder blades, and you feel the rotation. And you feel the inner thigh squeeze. And then rotate it back together. And rotate to turn out, and rotate in. Let's do one more. We're going to be working in turnout today for a lot of the exercises, and then we're going to be moving to parallel. So rotate back out to turnout, come back into the frog where you can maintain a neutral spine. Working from the glutes first, we're going to squeeze our glutes and press out to neutral. While we're here, we're going to pause real fast on this first one and make sure that wherever our legs are, we're able to maintain a nice neutral spine. And pull it back in with resistance. And press it away. And pull it back in. And press. Your legs might be a little higher than you're used to here. The emphasis isn't on the leg press today. It's on maintaining the neutral spine. It should be on maintaining the neutral spine all the time, but I find that sometimes we get so wrapped up in doing the exercise with pressing the footboard out and pulling it and resisting the carriage back in that we forget to maintain a neutral spine as well as we could in footwork. Good. One more. Now, on this next one, we're going to leave our knees where they are. We're just going to separate our heels. So we're in a frog position. We haven't lost the integrity in our inner thighs. We haven't lost the squeeze on our glutes. We're going to press out. Our feet should be no wider than our foot bar. It's as if we're doing the wide V footwork section, but in our straps, right? So we're going to pull it back in, maintain the neutral spine, and press it back out. Your legs shouldn't be going out or in during this. Your feet should be staying in the same sort of area, just pulling out and in. So they're not going out as you press out, and they're not pulling in as you pull in. They're going out and in, but not outside reformer or inside reformer frame. Good. A lot of this today is going to be dependent on you being aware of your body and your surroundings. Think of this as more of a footwork and springs situation with the tower. It's a little harder in my opinion. opinion because you have the carriage moving. Good. Here's 9. Here's 10. Okay, pull it back in. And we're going to press it out. Now from here, we're going to invert our toes and rotate the femur in the hip socket so our toes and knees are pointed inward. As we bend our feet, our knees are going to come closer together. As we press away, they're going to separate a little bit, but we're still going to have an inverted foot position. Toes together, heels apart. Maintain a neutral spine here. Drop the belly to the spine. You might find that you feel this in a different part of your glute. I can really engage in my inner thigh here. Sort of release out of your hips. Again, we want to make sure that our legs aren't going wild. We're controlling this exercise. This exercise is not controlling us. The springs shouldn't be the heaviest springs they've ever been. They should be a nice weight to help support your legs. We're probably feeling this in our abs right now because we're really maintaining that neutral spine, right? Good. Okay, we're going to pull it in and press it out one more time. And then we're going to change our foot position in this wide V again. We're going to rotate the femur in the hip socket, turn our feet out, and now we're going to point them. We're going to leave our foot pointed in the turn up Pilates V the entire time. We have a nice squeeze on our glutes. We're pressing energy out through our toes. We're grounded in our sacrum. We're going to pull it in and squeeze our glutes and inner thighs and press it away. And pull it in and squeeze. Keep breathing. As you bring it in, don't come in so fast. Don't let the springs play in so fast that you tuck your tail. Make sure that you're resisting the springs. Here's 5. Here's 6. Try to imagine that you have a little bowl from hip to hip, and you can feel it hollowing out. Squeeze your glutes more. Nice relaxed sternum, nice wide collarbone. Now, we're going to come back in. We're going to bring our legs together in a parallel position, tabletop position. And now we're going to flex our feet. And from there, we're going to press energy out of our heels to press our legs to working level. Feel free to drop your feet an inch as long as you can maintain a nice neutral spine here to challenge your body. But if you feel your back start to lift off or arch, lift your feet up to that previous position. Good. Make sure that your knees and inner aspects of your legs and feet are connected the whole time. Try to find that wrap in the glutes still though. Good. We're still going. Keep breathing. All right. We're going to press it out. We're going to pull it in. We're going to press it out and hold it, and we're going to articulate through our foot. So press through with your toes pulled back and your foot pointed. Now point your toes. Now pull just your toes back. Now flex your whole foot. Now point your foot, but pull your toes back. Now point your toes. Now toes and foot. Keep it going with this nice articulation. Maintain the neutral spine. Squeeze the inner thighs. Try to squeeze the glutes a little more. It's easy to lose it. I just did because our feet are being supported the whole time by the straps. Keep your feet pointed. And now we have 10 more with the pointed foot pointed in and pressing it out. And resist it in a neutral spine and press it out in a neutral spine. Try to keep your knees together the whole time. If you feel your knees pull apart as you're pulling your legs in, stop there and try to really squeeze your legs together before you press out again. After we're done here, guys, we're going to be doing some work in turnout, and then we're going to be doing some forward flexion work in parallel. Here's 8. Here's 9. Squeeze your glutes strongly. And here's 10. Good. Draw it back in. Turn it out into a tabletop frog position or turned up tabletop position. So heels together, toes apart, really squeezing the glutes, allowing the rotation to come from the femur and the hip socket. Still squeeze your inner thighs so they're not flopping out, right? We want to squeeze our heels together. And now we're going to press out to a diamond position where we feel strong engagement wrapping around our hips, wrapping around our glutes and our inner thighs, and pull it back into that tabletop position. And press it out to a diamond. Pause and pull it back in. Press out to a diamond. Pause when you feel that strong engagement and in. And press and resist. And press. You should feel a nice engagement in your core as you press your legs away from you, increasing the load. And now we're going to hold it here. We're going to reach our fingertips up towards the ceiling, come out of our sternum 12 root. Scoot yourself slightly away from the shoulder blocks to be pressed up against them. We're going to inhale and exhale. Make sure your sacrum's very heavy here and not curling up. When you curl up, to look down at the foot bar. So look through your legs at the foot bar and inhale to release back down and exhale to lift. Still squeezing our glutes the whole time. Could do a little better, I don't know about you. But make sure that your sacrum is completely flat and you're not tucking it up when you're curling up. We have 3 more. If you scoot it into your shoulder blocks because your foot straps, like I just did, scooch away. And now here's 5. And here's 6. Stay up. And now begin pumping. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. The weight is heavier here on your legs, so you might find it a little bit more challenging to maintain a neutral spine. If that's the case, go ahead and drop 1 green spring, and so you'll only have 1 red. Talking about our hundreds, we're going to reach our fingertips long. Don't wing them up to the ceiling. Squeeze under your arms and pump rapidly, or vigorously, let's say. Try to stay above the hip. Don't slap the mat. When you curl up, you want to make sure that your chin is not crunching into your chest so that you're not crunching your spine. You want to make sure that you have enough room for an egg, an apple, or an orange under your chin. Squeeze your glutes. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more set. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead and bend your knees. Float your hands up, rest your head, neck, and shoulders. We're going to do coordination next, but since we're going to be moving around so much, we're going to press ourselves up. I'm still holding my foot straps. If you want to peg it, you can. I'm going to drop my heavy spring, which is my green spring, so I just have 1 medium spring or 1 red spring on. From there, I'm going to come down onto my back. I'm going to press out again. Put 1 foot strap on, extend my foot, the other foot, and extend that foot as well. I'm going to come back into the diamond shape. Go ahead and give yourself a couple presses. See how easy it is to tilt your tailbone back here because the less weight. So go ahead and extend out to a diamond and resist it back in and press to a diamond. And go ahead and find that nice neutral spine here. This is more challenging to maintain your neutral spine here, not for the tuck, but for the tilt down. When we were doing the hundreds and the curl-ups, it was more challenging not to tuck our tail up, but now we want to tilt it down and arch our back. We don't want to do that. Okay, good. We're going to come into the turn up frog tabletop. We're going to press our hands or squeeze our biceps in towards our ribs and bring our palms up towards our shoulders and our elbows are down towards our hips. So this coordination is different, so straps around our feet. So we're going to inhale, exhale to curl up, press out to a diamond. Now, we're going to separate our legs, but not change the bend in our knees. So we're still in a diamond shape as we separate, and then we're going to squeeze together with our inner thighs, squeeze our heels together. We're going to pull back into a tabletop with our feet, And we're gonna bring our hands up towards our shoulder. If you need to rest your head, neck, and shoulders, you should. Otherwise, we're gonna press out again to a diamond. Now, we're gonna separate our legs from the inner thigh so we look like a wishbone. Squeeze it back together with where our thigh and our glutes meet and our inner thighs, and separate them again like a wishbone and squeeze it back in. Bend your knees in, bring your hands up towards your shoulders, and exhale to press. We're going to separate our legs and squeeze them for 3, and a 2, and a 1. Pull back into tabletop, still in a frog position, bring your hands up, and press out to the diamond again. And here's a 4, and a 3, and a 2, and a 1. We're never straightening our legs here, guys. Bend it in, bend your elbows in. The reason for this is to really maintain a strong inner thigh connection. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull your legs in, pull your hands in. Final 1. Keep a flat, heavy sacrum. Press it out to a diamond, and here's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull your feet in, pull your hands in. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Push back. Drop your head rest. We're going to be doing reverse ab curl. If you have any head, neck, shoulder issues, or if you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, we're going to be doing some rolling exercises on our spine today that you should not be doing under any circumstances. I'm going to platform my arms down by my side so I have the added weight of my arms on the mat. I'm still in the diamond position, but I'm in tight, but I have a flat sacrum. So I'm not tucked at all, because here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna imprint our spine, and we're gonna peel our tail off the mat. Press into your triceps. Find that space in between each vertebra in your low back. Now place each vertebra back down and find a neutral spine. The straps will help lift you up a little higher, but what we're really going for is a stretch in our low back as opposed to flipping ourselves up on our shoulders, right? Because we definitely shouldn't be doing that, right? Definitely crunch your spine there. We're gonna lift and lower. Don't allow your feet to lift up your body for you. We're doing this with our abs still. Dropping our belly to our spine, drawing our hips to our ribs, and articulate back down. Now, imprint your spine and peel your tail off. And lower it back down. Back to neutral. And imprint and peel your tail off. And imprint your spine, come back to neutral. And imprint and peel. Come back down to neutral. Let's do one more. And imprint and peel your spine off. And come back down to neutral. From there, we're going to press out to a tabletop position and bring our legs to parallel. So from here on out, we're going to be working in parallel for a couple minutes. So the first thing that we are going to do is lift our legs straight up to the ceiling. From there, we're going to lower. 1, 2, 3. We're going to pause at our working level. We're going to squeeze our glutes. And we're going to float our legs back up for 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to squeeze our glutes and use our hamstrings to lower our legs down for 1, 2, 3. Pause, squeeze your glutes. Lift, 2, 3, and lower. 1, 2, 3. You should feel a challenge on your core here. Lift, 2, 3. If you do not, go ahead and place a hand underneath, above your ribs, or below your ribs and above your hips to make sure you're not arching in your back. Let's do 2 more. Lower. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and pause there. And go ahead and lift up for 1, 2, 3. One more. Really find the engagement in your glutes here, guys. I'm going to pause and lift up for 1, 2, 3. Now here's where it gets challenging. We're going to keep the engagement in our glutes. We're only going to move our left leg. So our right leg is going to stay up to the ceiling like a post the entire time. So without moving or shifting on our hips, we're going to lower our leg down and float it back up. We're going to have slack in our right foot strap. And when our left foot meets our right foot, the strap will be drawn taut again, right? We're going to lower just our left leg and lift it back up. The challenge is to not allow anything in your body to shift as you're doing this transfer of weight. So the weight will transfer back to your left leg, but the left leg won't move. So really squeeze the glutes, really use the hamstring, really shoot energy out of that left leg to really lengthen it. This is our final one. Now come back up, make your left leg the post coming straight up out of the ceiling. Squeeze your glutes, and now we don't want to lose the squeeze on the glutes of the left leg, but really squeeze the glutes of the hamstrings on the right leg to lengthen out of the right leg and lower that and lift it back up. Now your strap on your left leg has slack, but now it's taut again when your right foot comes up to meet the left. Move your right foot again and lift. We're going to be doing a few exercises like this. This is a lot of control, guys. It takes a lot of muscle control, a lot of that tiny muscle engagement. Go ahead and place that hand above the hip, below the rib again. Make sure you're not arching in your back or you're not lifting one hip or the other. Let's do one more. And lift it back up. Now, we're going to turn our feet out to Pilates view real fast, and we're going to do 10 leg circles in each direction. Make sure you're not lifting in your back and you're going to double bounce in your heels when they come together. So you're really still using the inner thigh and glute engagement to pull the legs together. When you use the muscle engagement to pull the legs together, as opposed to just letting your legs swing around, then you won't get the double bounce. So we've been working on that this entire time. We're going to go ahead and use it here, right? Draw your abs up and in. Two more in this direction, and then we'll reverse it for 10. Just moving some nice fluid around our hip joints. Feeling that nice stretch in our legs. We're still shooting energy up out of our legs as we press it down, just like we did in that double leg lower lift. Now open and close it at the top. Don't let the double bounce happen. And now down, around. It's easy to get the double bounce at the top to the ceiling. Now squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the glutes really tight there. I find that I get the double bounce right here, but when I squeeze, I definitely have less. Let's just say that, right? Now squeeze your glutes. Good. It's a little game, right? Here's 8. Here's 9. And squeeze. And here is 10. And squeeze. Good. We're going to come back to parallel. Draw our feet back down to tabletop. When we're pressed down to tabletop and not pulled in, it's easier to find the engagement of the glutes and the inner thighs. So we're going to do 4 on each side with our head down, and 4 on each side with our head up. And then we're going to do a double leg stretch variation where we do 4 with our head down and 4 with our head up. So platform your arms down by your side, working with the left leg first, still engaging through the right leg. We're going to press out and pull it back in. Now, you want to shift your hip on here, right? So you have to make sure that you're pulling up a little bit more and pressing through that hip so you can really engage that left side oblique. So don't allow the body to shift. And press through the heel more. Now, we'll do one more because I think that was 3, but it might have been 4. And now we're going to place our head in our hands. We've interlaced our fingers. Our fingers are at the base of our neck and skull. Our thumbs are long down our neck. We're going to inhale, exhale to curl up. And now we're going to press for 4. Here's 1, 2. Don't allow your hips to shift. Press through the heel. 3 and 4. Good. Rest the head, neck, and shoulders. Platform the arms down by the side. We're going to be working on the right leg. Still squeeze the left glute, but press out. Don't allow your hips to shift. So engage that oblique. 1. Here's 2. Lots of control here. Just like when we were doing the modified scissor exercise, this leg, the leg that's not doing anything, is doing a lot because it's not moving. We're going to interlace our fingers at the base of our skull again, thumbs down your neck, curl it up. We have 4 more on the right leg. Here's 4. Here's 3. Here's 2. Press through the glutes. Curl up a little deeper. And 1. Now, we're going to rest our head, neck, and shoulders. Squeeze our legs together, still flexing our feet. We're going to extend both legs without moving our body. Again, place your hands above your hip, below your ribs. Make sure that your back's not lifting and pull it back in to tabletop. And press through the heels again. Here's 2. And back. And here's 3. And pull back. And here's 4. And pull back. Now, we're going to interlace our fingers again, and then exhale, curl up. Make sure your sacrum's heavy and press for 4. Good. And here's 3. And here's 2. And here's 1. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Make sure your headrest is still down. We're going to be doing rollover. If you have no head, neck, and shoulder problems, press away from the shoulder blocks. For rollover, if you have head, neck, or shoulder problems, you can press your legs to working level, hold them up to the ceiling, separate them the width of the frame, and then use your hamstrings and glutes to pull them down and pull them together. Then we reverse, you'll separate them the width of the frame, pull it up to the ceiling so your legs are post, squeeze them together, and then press it down. Otherwise, we're going to platform our arms down by our side. We're going to press our legs down to working level, really making sure we're not lifting up in our core. We're going to pike at our hips, bring our legs up to the ceiling. Just like in reverse ab curl, we're going to allow our hips to float off. We're going to have slack in our ropes. If you're uncomfortable doing this with the ropes, feel free to do it without. We're going to separate our feet the width of the reformer. Don't worry about flexing or pointing your feet, you'll lose your straps. From there, we're going to articulate our spine down to the mat, vertebra to vertebra. Begin engaging your glutes and inner thighs so you can pull the straps down to the working level, and then squeeze your legs together with your inner thighs. Pike at the hips. Begin to articulate your spine off the mat. Bring your feet over your head. Separate your feet the width of the reformer. And begin to articulate down vertebra by vertebra. After this, we're going to be doing some short spine. Think of this like it's a short spine warm-up, right? Now use your hamstrings to press your legs away. Squeeze your legs together. Pike at the hips. Articulate off and over with control. Lots of ab work here. Separate your feet. Articulate down, leaving your feet the width of the reformer. Do not bring your feet together at the bottom. We're going to be reversing. Use your hamstrings to press away, lengthening out of your legs. Now, leaving your feet the width of the reformer. We're going to pike at the hips. Our feet are still separated. We're going to articulate over. Our feet are still separated. When our legs are parallel with the floor, we're going to squeeze our legs together. Then we're going to articulate down. Squeezing our glutes and hamstrings to begin to pull the springs down. Pull the straps down to our working level. Separate your feet the width of the reformer. Leaving your feet separated, you're going to pike at the hips. Begin to articulate over. Bringing your legs parallel to the floor. Squeeze your legs together. Now begin to articulate down. Drawing your belly to your spine. Placing each vertebra of your spine down one at a time. Hold with your hamstrings and glutes to pull your legs down to working level. Separate your feet. Pike at the hips. Articulate over. Squeeze your legs together. And then articulate down the opposite direction. Good. When your legs are up towards the ceiling, go ahead and bring them into a frog position. From here, we're going to be doing short spine 3 times, and then we're going to be moving into a figure 4 short spine that I recently did with my trainer, Katie Rowley, for my tight hips. I really needed it, guys. It felt amazing. I want to share it with you today. But if you are uncomfortable doing this exercise, please find a nice stretch to do, or just do short spine. I'm going to press out to my working level, float my legs up, articulate up to a shoulder stand. I have a nice soft sternum. I can move my neck freely. From there, I'm going to bend my legs to frog my legs to bring my knees over my shoulder blocks. I'm going to leave my feet where they are in space as I begin to articulate down. Bringing my tailbone to the mat. The reason this is nice is because I get a nice hamstring stretch. Then I'm going to hamstring curl to bring my heels to my glutes. I'm going to press it out to working level. Float my feet up to the ceiling, articulate up. Bend into a high frog. And then I'm going to articulate down, 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 down. Finding a nice hamstring stretch. And bringing my heels to my glutes. This is the variation that you can continue doing. Otherwise, we're going to be doing 3 frogs on each side, so I'm only going to do 2 here. I'm going to press my, let's start on the right leg first. I'm going to press my right leg away so you can see what's going on. I'm going to just press it out halfway, right, to a hook position or a diamond position. I'm going to peg my left foot strap. I'm going to take my left leg, and I'm going to bend it into a figure 4. I'm going to bend my knee in to come into a figure 4 position with my strap on my right foot. I'm going to take a look at my left leg. My left leg should be across my right leg. For my left leg, it'll be above the ankle so that I'm not sickling in my foot, but I'm going to be below my right knee on my thigh so that I'm not pressing into a joint here. From here, I'm going to platform my arms down by my side. I'm going to press my leg out to working level, begin to pike at the hips in a figure 4. I'm going to articulate up. From there, I'm going to bend my knee. I'm working in parallel here with this bent knee, right? In a figure 4 position. From there, I'm going to articulate down to the mat, really making sure I'm rolling down equally on both sides. I should really be feeling that hip stretch right here. I'm going to come back to the figure 4 stretch that we began on the mat, and then I'm going to press out. Bringing my right leg to working level, my left leg still in figure 4. Begin to pike at the waist, or at the hip, roll up. Bend that right knee. Again, guys, make sure that your headrest is down. Articulate down, 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 down. And press your leg away. One more on this leg. And articulate up, 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 up. Bend at the knee. You don't want much more weight than this because you don't want to go right over into the well, right? Go ahead and extend that right leg halfway. Take your left foot strap, place it on your left foot. Extend your left leg out halfway. Take that right foot strap off. Go ahead and peg that. From there, we're going to go ahead and place that right leg across the left leg in a figure 4 stretch. Again, for the right leg, we want to be above the ankle, so we're not sickling in that ankle. And we want to be on the cross with the left leg below the knee on the thigh so that we're not on the joint there. So we're going to press out and then we're going to pike at the hip. And begin to articulate up, 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 up in a figure 4. Really squeeze the glute on that left leg to extend the leg straight up to the ceiling. We're going to bend that knee in on the left leg and then begin to roll down. Roll down equally on both sides of your back straps of your spine, so that you can really find that nice even stretch. Press out on 1, pike at the hip, articulate up, bend the knee. Really begin to sink into the stretch and enjoy the nice stretch. This is our final one on this side, guys, and then we're going to go into rowing. Go ahead and articulate up, 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 up. Squeeze that glute on the left leg. Bend the knee. Now begin to articulate down, 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 down. And extend that leg away halfway. Now before we go any further, before we take off our straps to do rowing, let's put our right foot strap back on. Bring your legs straight to the ceiling. Try to keep your sacrum as flat as possible. And pull down on the strap so you can really get a nice hamstring stretch for a second. Go ahead and flex and point your feet. Try not to arch the back. Pull your legs out to a straddle stretch. Go and place your hands on the tops of the straps and pull your legs further if you'd like. Down towards the floor. Now go ahead and bring your feet bottoms together like they're praying hands in a butterfly stretch, and go ahead and pull those straps towards you if you like. Keep a nice flat sacrum here so you can find a nice inner thigh stretch. Good. Now, press one leg out all the way. Take your favorite foot strap off. Begin to bend the knee with the foot strap still on it so you can find the foot bar with the other foot. Take that foot strap off. Resist the springs back in. Press yourself up to sitting. Go ahead and make sure that you have one medium spring on, which is one red. We're going to be moving into rowing. So for rowing, I'm going to face the uprights. On my machine, I'm going to change over to my handles. If you have double loops, you don't have to do that. I prefer working with handles. So I'm going to extend my feet through my shoulder blocks. I haven't discussed this in a while, but if your legs do not both fit through the shoulder blocks, go ahead and take one leg and cross it over the top of the other one. After we do the first exercise and move on to the second, you're going to switch your legs so that the other leg is now on top. If I forget to mention that, please remember to do that yourself. I'm also going to place my hand behind my tailbone and make sure that I have a hand sweep from my tailbone to the end of the carriage. From there, I'm going to go ahead and pick up my handles. If I reach out straight in front of me, the top of my palms are facing out. I'm squeezing them so I can clap my hands together. Now wrap your fingers around that. Now from there, go ahead and do hug a tree arms. Bring your knuckles together, drop your shoulder blades down, hinge forward slightly in a neutral spine position. From there, for rowing one, we're going to tuck our tail. And we're going to use our tail tuck and our abs to pull the carriage towards the uprights and move the carriage away from the foot bar. From there, I'm going to pull my handles into my sternum 12th rib. And then I'm in a baby T. I'm going to open to a big T with my palms facing the uprights. And then I'm going to flip them around after I extend my arms to the T. From there, I'm going to articulate over my legs. So I'm in a round back position looking down at my knees. I'm going to squeeze my hands behind me. I'm going to begin to lift my arms up and circle them around towards my feet. And then I'm going to articulate my spine up as I bring my knuckles towards each other into the original hug a tree position where my knuckles were touching and I was hinged slightly forward in a neutral spine position. From there, I'm going to tuck my tail and use my abs and my articulation of my spine to move the carriage away from the foot bar. Pull my handles into my sternum area, open to the T with my palms facing the uprights, squeezing the bottom tips of my shoulder blades. From there, I'm going to flip my palms. So now my palms are facing the foot bar. As I articulate, as I press over my legs in a round back position, I'm going to reach my fingertips strongly towards the foot bar, really squeezing under my arms. Staying in the round back position, I'm going to circle my arms up and around as I rest over my legs for my hamstring stretch and articulate back up to the original position. If I have shoulder issues, as opposed to bringing my arms up in a giant circle, I'm going to bring them out to a T to the side of my body. I'll demonstrate that on the next one. I'm going to tuck my tail, press the carriage towards the uprights. Pull the handles into my sternum, open to the big T, flip my palms, round over my legs. From there, I'm going to just reach my arms to a T to the side if I have shoulder issues. And I'm going to reach over my feet and articulate my spine up. We're going to do two more. So I'm going to tuck my tail and articulate back, pull the handles in towards my sternum. We're going to make these a little bit more fluid. Reach my arms out to a T, tweeze the bottom tips of my shoulder blades, flip my palms, then dive over my legs, reaching towards the foot bar. Circle my arms up and around towards the uprights and my toes, and articulate back up. Final one, tuck my tail, pull the carriage towards the uprights, pull the handles into my sternum, open to a T, flip my palms, squeeze the bottom tips of my shoulder blades, reach for the foot bar. Circle my arms towards my toes, and then articulate up. Let's do rowing 2. Keeping the same body position, we're going to bring our arms to a 90-degree position. As opposed to tweezing your shoulder blades in towards each other, we're going to line our elbows in towards each other. We're going to leave our elbows lined up with our uprights unless you have very narrow uprights. But bring them in sort of like a low V position so you're not crunched in your chest, right? From there, I'm going to flat back, hinge back, growing taller, reaching the tip top of my head for the wall in the ceiling beat. I'm going to reach my hands up, bring my biceps by my ears. I'm going to flat back, hinge up, flat back, hinge forward, and then round over my legs. I'm going to flip my palms towards the foot bar, and then as if I'm reaching my hand to the water and paddling back, I'm going to reach my hands back, tweezing the bottom tips of my shoulder blades. Again, I'm going to articulate my spine up as I circle my arms around. From there, I'm going to reach back towards the uprights, flip my palms up towards the ceiling so I don't lose my handles, and then I'm going to bicep curl. I'm still in the flat back position. I'm going to hinge back. Extend my arms up so my biceps are by my ears. Squeeze my glutes to sit up taller. Hinge forward and then around over my legs. Tweezing the bottom tips of my shoulder blades, squeezing my underarms to reach my hands back, reach my fingers towards the foot bar. From there, I'm going to articulate my spine up as I circle my arms around, flip my palms, and bicep curl. As I flat back, hinge back. Lift my arms up to where the wall and the ceiling meet in a flat back position. Biceps by ears. Squeeze my glutes, flat back, hinge up. Flat back, hinge forward. Round over my legs. Put my paddles in the water. Reach back, 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 back. Circle my arms around. Flip my palms. And bicep curl. Let's do 2 more, guys. Sorry, I was losing my glasses. I'm going to flat back, hinge back. Lift my arms up. Bicep by ears, sit up tall, 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 flat back hinge, then round over, reach my paddles in the water, press them back, circle my arms around as I articulate up, my spine up to sitting, bicep curl, final one, flat back hinge, oh sorry, my straps are pinching my hand. Reach my biceps up by my ears, flat back hinge up, hinge forward, articulate over my legs, reach back, circle it around, flip my palms, and bicep curl. Place both your straps in your left hand. Turn your body around so that now you're facing the front of your machine. Your straps are still in your left hand. Go ahead and separate your straps. Look back. Make sure your straps are not crossed. I have pressed myself back. So my back hip bones are touching my shoulder blocks. You can extend your legs long. You can crisscross applesauce. I forgot to tell you to flip the switch of your legs like I told you I would. Same thing for this. If you're crisscross applesauce, after each exercise, flip the switch of your legs. So, I was like this with my palms up. I'm going to squeeze my fingers around the strap and I'm going to bring it so my palms are facing the foot bar. My straps are still reaching back and I'm going to hold on with my thumbs. I'm going to bring my hands to my waist, tweeze the bottom tips of my shoulder blades, bring my elbows towards the upright. I'm going to hinge forward ever so gently to release my hip flexors. From there, if I'm doing spine stretch, I'm going to crease at the sternum and look down at my knees. From there, I'm going to tap my fingers down to the carriage, articulate over my back and around back as I reach for my toes. And then I'm going to press up into a flat back hinge position, reaching for my biceps by my ears. I'm reaching for the wall and the ceiling meet. Maintaining this position with my body, I'm going to move my arms straight down to tap the mat and bring them straight back up, biceps by my ears. I'm going to flat back hinge up, bring my arms to a field goal position, and then flip my palms and squeeze my shoulders back by tweezing the bottom tips of my shoulder blades, coming to the original position. I'm going to begin to articulate down, looking down at my knees, bring my fingertips to the carriage, press it forward, rounding over my legs, lift up into the flat back hinge, moving just my arms and not my body. I'm going to tap the carriage, lift it back up, flat back hinge up, field goal position, tweeze the bottom tips of my shoulder blades, bring my elbows to the back, bring my hands to my natural waist. Look down at my knees, tap my fingers in the carriage, articulate forward. Flat back hinge up, move just my arms down and up. Flat back hinge up, field goal arms, original position. Let's do 2 more. Begin the spine stretch position, curling up off the imaginary wall or imaginary wall behind you. Tap your fingers down to the carriage. Press forward. Flat back hinge up. Sit up tall. Open your arms to a field goal position. Find the original position that you began in. 1 more. And then tap your fingers. And then press. Flat back hinge up. Don't move your body up yet. And lift. Then sit up tall. Bring your arms to a field goal and come back down. Now we're going to flip our palms again. So we're not holding on with our thumbs anymore. We're holding on with our thumbs still, but our palms are up. We're going to bring it to a hugged tree position. Still hinge forward slightly. Drawing our abs up and in, wrapping our ribs, squeezing under our arms. We're going to inhale, tap our fingers, and exhale to separate. Now stop here. Take an inhale with your arms wide. Exhale to bring your fingers together. And inhale to separate. And exhale to tap. Inhale to separate. Go ahead and switch the flip of your legs if you haven't already. Exhale to separate. From there, we're going to find the salute position with our hands. A diamond position. Our thumbs are together. Our pointer fingers are together. We're going to place our thumbs at our third eye and reach up. Now, if you find that you cannot extend your arms to where the wall and the ceiling meet without shrugging in your shoulders, we're going to do Supergirl. So we'll do 3 in Supergirl and 3 extended with our hands still touching. So I'm right here. I'm going to separate my hands. I'm going to reach up. My biceps are by my ears. I'm in Supergirl. I'm going to bend back into the diamond position. Then I'm going to separate my hands out to a Supergirl position and come back in. Let's do 1 more like this and come back in. Now, if you're doing that fine, let's go ahead and try to do it with our hands still connected. So we're going to press the diamond shape out and pull it back in. Resist it back in. And press it out and resist it back in. Don't round in your low back and resist it back in. Now from there, we're going to flip our hands to the back of our head for shave the head. If you cannot find this position or it bothers your shoulders or your neck, please feel free to continue to do salute or find your favorite stretch. Sorry, don't want to, I have my elbows forward slightly, don't have them all the way back, right? We don't want to flare our ribs. Now, I'm going to press my hands up into a Supergirl, and I'm going to bend them back into the diamond shape behind my head. And press up into Supergirl, and bend my hands back in the same diamond shape behind my head. 1 more, and then if you're feeling good about this, we're going to continue to do it in the diamond shape. This is tricep work. Let's do 1 more. Good. Now, go ahead and get your legs to shake real fast. We're going to be doing some arm circles. This is 1 red. It can be very heavy. Keep your circles at shoulder level and then drop them down to your waist. We're going to be doing 3 in each direction. So we're going to inhale the arms up, exhale them to a T, and lower them down to the carriage. Don't allow your arms to go behind your body, especially if you have a shoulder issue. And now reverse. We're going to inhale to the T and exhale to the front as we bring them down. Inhale to the T and exhale to the front as we bring them down. Let's do 1 more. Good. Let's go ahead and shake our legs out. Nice. Inhale up and exhale forward towards the foot bar or your toes or the standing platform. Don't yank on anything. Let your hands be loosey-goosey and articulate your spine up, up, up. We're going to step off to one side of our machine. We have one medium spring or one red spring on. We're gonna add one blue spring or one light spring. So from here, we're gonna add that blue spring on. I'm going to place one hand on the foot bar. I'm going to place my other hand on the foot bar. I'm going to put my foot not between my shoulder block on my headrest, but I'm going to place it in front of my, my shoulder block, my toes tucked and my heels pressing into the shoulder block. Now press your leg out and lift your other foot up to place it on the shoulder block too. Find a nice plank position. Pull apart the foot bar with your hands, add nice wide shoulders. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your inner thighs, draw your ribs together, draw your belly button up towards your spine. If you're going like this, tuck your tail slightly. If you're swinging your low back, tuck your tail slightly, draw your ribs to your hips, leave your shoulders over your wrists, and press out for 6, and resist back in. The spring tension is pretty nice and supportive here. So really the main part of this exercise, just like at the beginning, is maintaining that body position. Here's 4. The further you get, the harder it is to maintain your body position. Let's do one more. Now, bring your shoulders over your wrists. Can you bring your right hand in towards your left and towards the center? Now, we're going to rotate our body so that it's facing the left side. We're going to float our left hand down towards our body. We're lifting up, so we're not sinking down here, right? We have a nice supported side. Our shoulders over our wrists. Now from there, we're going to press it out to a star position and lower your hand and pull it back in. And press out, bring your arm up to a T, and come back in. If this is too much for you, try to hold it. If this is still too much for you, try to do the planks on the floor. Let's do 2 more. I'm on the sides of my feet, and my feet are tandem. My top leg's in front of my back leg. I just rotated my body. Now I'm going to bring my left hand back down, rotate my body back towards the center, bring my right hand back to the outside of the foot bar. I'm going to bend my knees, bring the carriage into the bumper. I'm going to maintain this body position. All I'm going to do is squeeze my glutes and lift up into a down stretch position. When I do down stretch, I don't want to put too much weight on my low back. I want to think of lifting my sternum up and doing a little slight back extension for my upper back, not my low back. So here I am. I'm going to squeeze my glutes to a knee plank, and then I'm going to lift my sternum. I'm going to maintain this body position as I press the carriage out with my hands and pull it back in. So I have the tiniest little back extension in my upper back. I'm wrapping my ribs, squeezing my glutes, squeezing my inner thighs. Here's 4. Don't crunch your head to the back of your neck. You want a nice continuous curve from the tip top of your head up through your tail. 1 more. Okay, we're going to come back in. We're going to press our feet back out to a plank position and lift our knees. We have star on the other side. So we're going to slide our left hand in towards the center, rotate our feet so they're tandem. We're going to squeeze our glutes, lift up out of our side, bring our shoulder over our wrist. My right hand's on my right side. I'm going to press out, bring my right arm to a T, resist the carriage back in and lower my arm, and press and lift my arm. I have a nice long neck. I'm wrapping my ribs, drawing my belly button to my spine. This is not the easiest thing I've ever done, but it feels nice, right? A nice side bend. Don't allow your shoulder to come up to your ear while you're doing this exercise. All right, we're going to bring our right hand back down, rotate our feet, bring my left hand to the outside of the foot bar, and then I'm going to walk my feet flat so we can do elephant. My feet are in front of my shoulder block. I have equal weight behind my big toe, my baby toe, and my heel. From there, I'm going to tuck my tail, leave my biceps by my ears, and look through my legs. but don't drop my head so low it leaves my biceps, right? I'm going to press back in my hamstrings and glutes, maintaining a round back position, and pull the carriage back under, and press, and pull. Here's 3. We're gonna go to 10, 4. Imagine you're getting punched in the stomach. Every time you pull the carriage in. So you're pulling it even deeper. Don't lose that position. Don't allow your the weight to leave your heels either. Okay, now leave the carriage in at the bumper. Press back into a flat back position, leaving your biceps by your ears. You should feel a nice hamstring stretch here. Can you lift your toenails? And pull it back under. And press it back and pull it back under. Don't allow your body to shut. Here's 3. 4. Wrap your ribs tightly. Here's 6. Here's 7. Here's 8. Here's 9. And let's do 10. And now we're going to step off to the left side of the machine. We're going to bend our right knee. It'll come to the carriage, and we're tucking our toes in front of our shoulder block and pressing our heel into the shoulder block. Now, when we bend our left leg, because that's really where the exercise is coming from, right? We really want to feel that supported leg. Square our hips. We want to hover that right knee off the shoulder, off the carriage. I've walked my right hand over so it's more in the middle of the foot bar, and I'm pressing away from the foot bar. I'm not leaning over, right? I'm pressing away to increase the activity in my legs. From there, I'm going to use my glutes to press it back and resist it back in. Don't allow your hip to shift. So maintain that plank position that we were talking about with a slight tuck in your low back. Here's 4. Nice wide shoulder blades. 5. We're going to 10 again. 6. 7. Guys, I have my inner calf touching the frame to help with stability. Here's 10. Now from there, I'm going to rotate the femur in the hip socket. So I'm turning my foot out. My heel's still connected with the shoulder block, but my toes turned out towards the headrest, but it's resting on the mat. So I'm not over-rotating any part of, I'm not over-rotating my ankle, I'm not over-rotating my knee. It's all lined up. My knee is tracking over my big toe, and my femur is rotating in the hip socket to support the turnout. Now I'm gonna work from here. Press back off the foot bar, really bend that standing leg. Give me a nice rack rib, a little tiny tuck in your tail, drawing your belly button to your spine. Here's 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. From there, we're going to sit down on the machine, and we're going to be doing bridging over to the other side. So leave your head rest down, come onto your back. We're going to be in a Pilates V position on the balls of our feet. So come away from the shoulder block slightly. We're going to do the hardest one first. For your platform, our arms down by our side. Find a nice neutral spine. Really pull in with your hamstrings. We're going to imprint our spine, tuck our tail, and articulate it up. Pull into the carriage with our hamstrings and articulate down. Oh my goodness, I have a hamstring stretch. I have a hamstring Charlie horse. Whichever leg you have it on, go ahead and extend it up towards the ceiling. If your carriage went away from the bumper, you need more hamstring use, right? Inhale, exhale, imprint your spine, tuck your tail, and lift. Draw your ribs together, don't allow them to flare. Articulate down. We're gonna do one more, and we're gonna add on something fun here. Imprint your spine, lift. Now, press out halfway, so you're still indebted, and pull it back in with your hamstrings. And press out halfway, and pull back in your hamstrings. Make sure your ribs are wrapped, you're squeezing with your glutes, and your heels are connected. Now, pull and squeeze your hamstrings at the end. Now, pull and squeeze your hamstrings, and now articulate down. Now, bring your legs to parallel, bring your heels on the carriage. Don't bring them up so far that when you bridge up, your heels come off. But you want a nice heel connection, not in the front, so you'll slip down, right? You gotta find that sweet spot right on the edge of your heels. We're gonna do hinge bridge from here, so everything's going to lift up and lower down at the same time. Inhale, exhale, hinge bridge up, squeezing our legs together, drawing our ribs together. Squeezing our hamstrings, imagine we're pulling our knees over the foot bar, and hinge bridge down, and hinge bridge up. See how everything's coming up at the same time? And down. Now we're gonna add on those half presses and pulls. So hinge bridge up and half press out, and hamstring curl in. And half press, leave your knees connected. Here's 3, halfway there. Here's 4, 5, you should be feeling this in your low back. And hinge bridge down. If you are, think of tucking your tail slightly. Good, we're gonna press up to the side. We have our other side scooter, and then we're gonna be doing a psoas stretch, and we're gonna be doing some back extension work. So, I have my left hand in the middle of the foot bar, my right hand's on the edge. I have my left knee on the carriage. My toes are tucked, my heels against the shoulder block. My knees are lined up, and my knee is off the carriage, so I can swing my hand into it. I'm pressing away so that I'm not cheating myself on the exercise. I want the full exercise, but I'm not sitting on my leg either, right? So I have this right knee bent, I'm gonna press and pull. Don't shift your hip to press and pull. Have a nice open collarbone. Again, I have my calf in, touching the frame for support. Here's 6, 7, here's 8, here's 9, and here's 10. Now, I'm going to rotate the femur in the hip socket so that my knee's tracking over my big toe. My hips are still square, but I'm not aggravating the inner aspect of my knee because my toe is still touching the carriage, right? My big toe, I'm gonna press and resist. And here's 2. Bend that right knee even more. 3, 4, press away from the foot bar. 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, woo, and 10. Resist it back in all the way. Don't cheat yourself. Stand up. Take off the medium spring so you have 1 light spring on, 1 blue spring on my machine. I'm going to take my right foot and line up my toes with the very front aspect of my frame. I'm going to bring my left knee up onto the carriage. My hands are touching the foot bar. Without moving the carriage from the foot bar, I'm going to square my hips and I'm going to tuck my tail to open up the front of that left hip flexor. I'm not moving the carriage. I'm going to release. Now I'm going to tuck again. I'm just increasing the stretch with the angle. 1 more. Now tuck. Hold it. And now begin to press the carriage back for an eaves lunge. That feels great. Go ahead and extend that front leg for a split. Let's take 1 more breath and add on. Let's float our right arm up and side bend towards the left side of the machine. Press down on the pinky blade edge of the left hand so you're not bringing your shoulder up to your ear. Bring your hand back down. Come back through the eaves lunge. Come back up through the psoas stretch. Hands on the foot bar, and then step off carefully to the side of the machine. We're going to go around to the other side before we go into our back extension work. So, I'm going to line up my toes with my left toes to the front of my frame. I'm going to bring my right foot up on the machine, drop my knee down, tuck my tails, bring my heel to the front. I'm not moving the carriage away from the bumper. I'm just going to tuck my tail, leaving square hips to really open up the front of my hip flexor. And release. And I'm going to squeeze my glutes and tuck to open up the front of that hip. One more. Don't press back yet. We've got to really find that psoas stretch, right? And then we're going to press back into an Eve's lunge. So that feels pretty nice. Let's go ahead and press back into a split. We're going to hold it for a few breaths here. If you're feeling good about that, float your left hand up, bicep by your ear, and side bend to the right side of the machine. Again, put a little bit more weight in your right pinky blade edge to pull that shoulder away from your ear. Come back up, replace the hand, come back in, coming through Eve's lunge first. Now, find just a psoas stretch, leaving the carriage into the machine, finding the tuck. Place your hands in the foot bar, step off to the side. From here, we're going to go ahead and replace that one light spring with one medium spring. On my machine, my light spring is a blue spring. I'm going to take it off. I'm going to replace it with one medium spring or one red spring. From there, I'm going to find my long box. If you would like a sticky mat, because you're wearing something super slippy for the top of your box, then you should find one for safety. I'm going to lift my box up, place it right in the middle of my machine. If you want a sticky mat, you would place it right here. I'm going to place one hand on the foot bar, the other hand on the foot bar. Swing one leg up, swing the other leg up. I'm going to place my body so that my 12th rib and sternum are at the edge of the box, or your bra strap. I'm going to bring my hands wide on the foot bar. I'm going to try to look straight down at the floor as much as I can. From there, I'm going to draw my belly button up towards my spine, draw my ribs together, squeeze my glutes to make my legs light, squeeze my inner thighs. From there, I'm going to press and resist it back in. We're just going to do 10 arm presses here. Trying to maintain as much of a neutral spine as we can and not allowing our shoulders to come up to our ears. Really squeeze the glutes and squeeze the inner thighs, make the thighs light here. We have to mark my nose scrapes my foot bar as I press out and in. Now, here's 10. Now let's press out on 1. Let's pull up into a swan, wrapping our ribs around our belly, bend our spine on 2. We're going to press out on 3 and bend our arms back in on 4. So all we've done is we've taken the overhead press and put a swan in between. As I do this, my belly button draws up to my spine, my ribs wrap the whole time. I'm squeezing under my arms so my shoulders are coming towards my ears. If I have low back pain, I do not come up this far. I drop my belly and my spine even further. If that doesn't work, I squeeze my legs all the way together. So, come back in without moving the carriage. Can you swim your legs? Straight legs. Start swimming. Now we're going to press out for an overhead press for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Still swimming. Come back in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here's 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's 3. We're going to 5. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeeze your inner thighs. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5. Final. 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5. One leg off, other leg off, then remove one hand and the other hand. We're going to do pigeon to the side of the machine on the box. If you're uncomfortable with this, please feel free to do pigeon on the floor or find a child's pose. Otherwise, I'm going to place both hands on my box. I'm going to take my right leg and bring it up so my right shin is perpendicular to the long side of my box. I'm going to flat back hinge forward. From there, I can increase the stretch. My toes were tucked. I'm going to point my foot and rest on top of my toes. I can go ahead and come down onto my arms. Try not to prop yourself up funny. Or I can bring my hands down to the frame. I can also float my knee up behind me, bending it, so that the weight is all in my hip. If I have any hip problems, I will not be doing this exercise. Any of those variations is great. Do whatever you like the best. Now, place your foot back down. If it's lifted, lift yourself up. Place both hands on the box and slide yourself back. Leave both hands on the box as you bring your left foot up and slide it forward. Bring that left hip perpendicular with the long side of the box. Again, my toes are tucked on my right foot. I'm going to begin to find my favorite position. I'm a flat back hinge, my hands on the box. I'm going to flat back hinge, my hands on the frame. I can untuck my toe, resting on the top of my foot, or I can bend my knee. Don't bring it up because a lot of times it causes your body to shift. You can bend your knee, putting the weight in that hip. I can put my hands flat on the front of the box, and from there I'm going to breathe. This is my tighter hip. If I look very uncomfortable, I am. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. Good. Go ahead, press yourself up, leaving your hands on the box. Slide your leg off the box until you're able to come up to standing. I'm going to change my springs for a final stretch, guys. I'm going to put a light spring on my machine that's 1 blue. I'm going to take my medium spring off on my machine that's 1 red. I'm going to come standing to the end of the machine. In a parallel position with your heels no wider than your sits bones, we're going to begin squeezing our glutes, standing up as tall as we can, wrapping our ribs, drawing our bellies up and in. Inhale your arms so your biceps are up by your ears. Leaving them there, you're going to begin to dive down, 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 down. Place your hands on the meaty parts of your hands on the corners of your blocks and begin a cat-cow. Don't allow your thighs to move forward or back. So squeeze your glutes properly. Maintain equal weight on your feet. Don't allow the feet to drop forward. Think of elephant where we had the weight between equally weighted behind our big toe, behind our baby toe, and in our heels. And tuck our tail, articulate up. And press out 1 more time. Come back in. Bring the carriage to the bumper. Squeeze your glutes strongly as you articulate up. Do a tiny back bend, chest lift like we're taking a back and down stretch today. Open your arms wide to the side. And come back up to standing tall. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions or need any modifications, please feel free to reach out, and I hope that you have a great day. Thank you.